Good evening and welcome to the October 28th Proctor Select Board meeting. If you'd all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The first order of business is to approve the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. The October 15th Select Board meeting minutes.
Motion to
Additions,
approve.
deletions? Okay. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Open public comment, we don't have anyone with us or online, so we will move on to the status update for the server and capabilities with software for reappraisal.
So I included that in your packet from Lisa Wright. This whole conversion and the reappraisal is becoming very convoluted and confusing because there's just so many parts, moving parts, and every time I look around there's another software we need. So by going through and kind of checking back with these, the software company, it's cheaper for us to go, when they do this reappraisal, to go out on the cloud and store everything on the cloud rather than our in-house servers. And she got them to reduce that cost because at first it was going to be a lot. But if we had to get our servers, we'd have to get 2 or 3 more desktops like out here for people, because you can't, Tyler Technology, when they download their information, you have to go through another software program to have it transferred to our program. So that's why more than 1 or 2 players are in this. But by storing everything in the cloud, then we don't have to worry. It's out there and it's saved, and we don't have to add additional, space here physically. Plus, say if we want to keep it there, then afterwards it's always out in the cloud. So they have access because they don't enter stuff as they do the reappraisal. They go back later and enter stuff into the computers, and then we have to get it transferred into our system. So that's how they talk to each other.
So how many years are we paying this $1,500 a year then?
Well, the cloud, this is during the reappraisal piece, which should be about a year, could be 2 years, depending on when they start it.
But once the reappraisal is over, then we don't have to pay to keep it in the cloud?
I think you have to pay to keep it in the cloud, but I don't think you'd have to keep it like $1,500. I know, like, when I have stuff on the cloud, I have to keep adding space and paying for it.
Right, but, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lisa.
I understand that, but I don't know. I guess I didn't like the part that it seems like there's not an end time to the $1,500. That was concerning for me.
Right.
That she didn't say, okay, sure, the appraisal is gonna take 2 years to appraise and get everything input. I totally get that. But then in year 3, is it going to be $1,000 a month? Because I think those are considerations, and I get it, it's the program or whatever. Mm-hmm. But once it's in the cloud,
Once it's in the cloud, it should just be in the cloud. And I'm guessing, I can reaffirm this with her, the $1,500 is for them to actually host it for us during the reappraisal time. And then once it's in the cloud, then we manage it.
okay.
That's my understanding, but I'll clarify that with her tomorrow. And it should be done by July, I think, 2026, the whole reappraisal piece, so.
Albert, go ahead.
Yes, and I was going to say, that $1,500, I know that $1,500 is an annual, but that didn't say that was going to be what they were going to charge every year. Is that $1,500 just the first year, or might it be $2,500 the second year?
Right,
like,
right. And
like they wanted.
I think it's the duration of the reappraisal, which is that time frame only.
Okay.
So for that, so let's say till July 2026.
Yeah.
And then access to the cloud, because part of the agreement we have with Tyler, we have to provide them with remote access to the database. So the database will be the cloud. So, and she said, if we were to do it in-house, we'd have to get an additional 2 or 3 computers.
Right.
So was she looking for 3 connections to the cloud for Tyler?
Yeah,
And
I
then we
think-
have to have one for our lister's
computer
office,
here,
right?
yeah.
So are we looking at 4 at 1,000 to 2,000 each?
No, I think it's just 2 for the users, for them.
And then, of
'Cause
course,
the-
Lisa has to have access to it.
Right, right. But the cloud is a cloud, you don't need like the,
Yeah, once you're in
Just-
it, anybody
yeah.
should be able to.
Anybody.
access.
Well, some of the licenses do restrict and,
Yeah, but it shouldn't be
users.
it shouldn't be by, I wouldn't think it would be by user. I would think our license would be by municipality, because which would be good to know.
Yeah, it would, because, sometimes when they are remote, when you buy the software and you were to put it here, they restrict as to how many computers you can put it on. That's all in the license agreement, And when it's in the cloud, do we have to pay anything towards that license, or?
Right, that's
Or
my
is that
question.
gonna
Once
be,
it's uploaded to the cloud, it should belong to us.
right. Once it's in the cloud, it's out there
Because-
for your access.
The first one we got from Lisa, on H624, it said, and again, these are just estimates. It was an estimate of the town-wide reappraisal, and of course it has the Tyler tax, 86,000. The conversion, 7,500, and the catalyst annual fee of 3888.
Right.
And I was wondering, that was an annual fee, and I assume that's for the license.
Yeah, and I believe that fee would go away.
That fee would
Would
go away?
if we
Okay.
go to the cloud.
Yeah. So to have it on the cloud, you're saying it's only gonna cost us $1,500?
Yeah.
And we have infinite number of, I won't say infinite, but whatever number of users we need to be on there at no additional charge?
No, that's not what it says here. It says we will need to expend 1,000 to 2,000 for additional users to be allowed to work on the database during the reappraisal project from July 25 through July 26.
And then how many may those additional users be? Because I'm just thinking that, in the paragraph below it, she said we're 2 to 3 additional computers.
That was if we decided to
Yes, so I'm
stay
just thinking
in-house.
that if we needed 2 or 3 additional computers, they would need 2 or 3 additional users.
But we
So if we're
don't
gonna
need
have
it.
users here, we're gonna need those users on the
We
cloud.
don't need those users if we're going through the cloud. The cloud eliminates those users. The cost, those fees for the users.
It's because you would have, because the cost of those computers, I think, were the servers. So not going to the cloud, if you had the servers here, you have to host it in-house. That's why we needed those. So that's why she said 2 to 3 computers. Maybe I'm not understanding the question.
Oh, well, no, I'm not understanding, what she was trying to say in the,
Well, it's like they input everything and then we'd have to have a conversion, the software, so that we can go and extract that information and then we would store it on our server. By having the cloud, they can put it out there and then we can
Yes.
have access to it. So it kind of eliminates a step.
It's like the middleman is gone, I think, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
It just came out less costly by doing it that way. And easier access for everybody who needs to get in there, meaning the assessor, the lister.
So so she's asking for in terms of money, is she asking for the 1,500 for that contract plus another 2,000 in the paragraph above in the first sentence, or is she just asking for the 1,500?
I think she's just asking for the 1,500 and allowing us to use the cloud versus
Okay,
storing
and so
it on our server.
that paragraph is just an
Correct, yeah.
explanation, okay. And then she's asking to budget 2,000
Yeah.
in the budget, okay.
In last year, it was unfortunate, because in the budget, none of these figures were brought up, so.
Well, I think last year though, when you did the budget, in fairness to her, I'm not sure they had numbers.
We didn't have, it
Yeah.
was, no, and they were changing constantly.
Yeah,
And we didn't know that, we needed catalysts to convert from ProVal and, all these extra servers and all these things. So it's just, her and I, like, little by little, we've gotten more information and changes in this and changes in that, so. But this will save down the road some money compared to what originally was given to
and I
us.
feel like we're kind of like, because we're one of the first ones kind of doing it, we're
Right.
kind of in the, I don't know, figuring it out stage, I guess. The people coming behind will have a better idea of costs and what the
Right, and the thing is, the longer we take to decide on this, the more we get pushed back
Sure.
on the tail end of being reappraised. So Chittenden's ahead of us right now. I think Chittenden's going already.
Yeah.
They're ready, so.
So
Alright.
just to make sure I'm clear, we're gonna use the cloud, the software's gonna be up there, we're gonna have access to it with 1, 2, or 3, whatever users we want, at no additional charge. And our only charge is gonna be $1,500 to,
That's my understanding from reading this, so that's the
Okay.
only information I have
and
too.
then we really don't have to, at the end of 2 years, we really don't have to terminate it, because if it's only gonna cost us $1,500 for using the cloud, why would we wanna put it onto our server?
Yeah,
and
well,
pay
we don't, because,
$3,300 annually for
well, and we couldn't.
the software license.
And that's why she's saying you'd have to buy 2 or 3 more computers, because these servers aren't big enough to host everything.
Oh, to host everything.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
2,000 is for those 2 users.
Yeah,
It could be 1,000, could be 2,000, but that's why she's asking to budget additional 2,000 for the additional users.
following.
So it's gonna be 1,500, and then if it gets to just her office being, after 2 years, it might be 2,500, so it's still,
Yeah, well, I think during the appraisal piece, to add the users to it, it's gonna be 1,500 to be on the cloud, and then up to $2,000 for those extra users to have access to it.
yeah. But after the appraisal is done, we're still gonna have to pay for one user, because it's gonna have to be Lisa. She's
Yeah,
gotta be
well-
able to use it for,
Yeah, there's 2 of them, actually. I don't know if they'll both, I don't see why they can't use the same access, but that's not
okay, so,
the technical piece of it.
Could ask.
okay, yeah. But still, that's still better than
You know what I was
paying
gonna do?
$33.88 annually for the
Yeah.
license.
What's easier for me is to say, if we went this way, here's all the costs. If we go to the cloud, here's the cost, and then you have a bottom line, and you can compare.
Yes.
And it shows exactly what it is in the time frame.
and so do we think there's gonna be anything else that comes up? Because I feel like, the other option we could do is say that we will approve expenditures up to $2,500 in the event something else comes along in between meetings.
Right.
So we don't get continually pushed down the road.
Right.
Because you've been talking about this for a long time, and
And I think all of this will cover the cloud, the software's costs. My concern is once we get into budget, we're gonna have to figure that out as far as labor too,
Yeah.
how much more that's gonna be, if it's gonna be expanded.
yeah.
That's another day.
Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board?
I will make a motion that we do approve the cloud-hosted option of AP5 to be effective upon signing of the contract within the next few weeks at a cost of $15,000, or $1,500 per year.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Inflation.
it's fast. Second.
All right, any further discussion?
Well, just to make it easier and less costly for us, instead of her putting the time in, I'll do a breakdown of what I think I have the understanding, send it to her and say, can you just say, this is.
Thumbs up, thumbs
yeah.
down, yeah, okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, fire station update.
Okay, so they finished the scanning last Thursday. I reached out to him to see when we'd have a report, and he said he's getting together with the girl who did the scanning, and that, he hopes to have something back to us, have it all reviewed by the end of the week. He said hopefully, depending on how today went, and tomorrow, sooner than that. So,
So the report by next week?
this week, the end of this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
and what, were you over there when they did it, or the fire chief?
No, I think one of the firemen stopped by
Okay.
just to check, and I think she did show him pictures on the phone, but it was kind of hard to see scan, but I think there was a lot of void in there, and I'm just hoping once they look that it's not.
Oh, on the phone it looked like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I stopped over there when she was doing it.
Oh, okay. Did she show you any photos or no?
No.
No.
No. They didn't want to hold her up.
Oh, yeah.
Spent some time talking with her.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I haven't seen any of the scanning yet.
okay.
But I'll let you guys know as soon as I do.
All right, the forest lot and timber harvesting bids came in, and the award went to Canopy Timber Alternatives in Middlebury, and there were 8 bids, and theirs was the highest at $202,000. Do we need to take action on that, or you've already signed it?
No, we've already signed it, yeah.
Okay.
We accepted the bid, and they hit the ground running, because he came in today, with a check for a portion of the bid. They have to pay a portion of the
Yeah.
bid up front. So he came in with that check. He's already got a portion of the actual contract for the amount they did bid for the harvesting, which he has to clear. And then he, as the job goes on, he takes all that money in, and then once the job's done, the fraction of that comes back to us.
Right,
They went in this weekend, and we're starting to clear and create the loading where they would enter
The
into the
landing.
forest and stuff, yeah. And he said they should be starting this week.
great,
Oh, good.
all right,
Should help a little.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, State of Vermont grant agreement. This is the Vermont Marble Company redevelopment grant that we need to take action on, because we need to have taken action by November 1st. So, you received the full packet to review, or look at if you had any questions. Anybody have any questions?
The deadline is November 1 to give an answer, and then if you chose to, you could ask for a extension, or you could find that, make the decision that you didn't want to go forward with the grant.
We talked about the standing of the position, right?
Right, yep. And one of the state's criteria is they have to be in good standing with the town,
Right.
meaning current, and we still have our delinquent in taxes.
Oh, I guess they're not in good standing.
Excuse
Well,
me?
that's what I see in
Have they made
here.
any payments?
No, not since since they made their last ones, which were with the water sewer.
Yeah, so,
Because the agreement says, or in full compliance with a plan to pay, so if there's no plan
They're not,
to
so-
pay.
No. So what is the pleasure of the board?
make a motion to deny, to stop action on this grant.
So not to sign the grant application.
Yes.
Yeah, if they're not in compliance.
Automatically make an extension on it?
No, you have to request for that would deny it. There'd be no extension. Extension, you'd have to request, the town would have to request an extension to give them more time.
All right, any other discussion? Is there a second?
Oh, second, yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
I'll inform the state tomorrow.
Okay. All right, grounds maintenance ordinance.
So I included this because we mentioned it last time. I think Albert brought it up that it was kind of, so I believe this is the latest one that got marked up a little. And I didn't know if you wanted to go through it and make any changes now or adopt it with those changes that were made.
Albert?
Albert has a question.
Oh, go, yeah,
No,
Go ahead.
I'm patient. I was just gonna say, section 4, item C, open fields must be mowed at least once during the year. At the last time, we asked if the intent would be dependent on the time that it was mowed, and it was decided, yes, that it would. If we were to mow on May 30th, well, the intent of that policy would not be met. So I think we came up with a date that we wanted to see the mowing done afterwards, after a date certain. I don't remember if it was June 1st or, because if I mow on.
This is the this isn't the last one.
No.
Because this still says, if the select board accepts the findings, it shall give the property owner notice. And we gave that, we switched that to the town manager, so I don't think this is the
Yeah,
latest
no,
iteration.
Yeah, no, I had,
I think, yeah,
it's in red. Somebody did it in red.
that would have been me.
Yeah, that's the one I think was the previous, and I was gonna ask about those items.
Okay, so how about we do this? How about you,
You want,
yeah,
You
you
mean-
have to have that though, because I sent that to you.
Yeah, this is the red line version I had, so that's why I figured, because I don't think we did
oh
more than
no,
one
the
red
ones
line
we
version.
got are,
Huh?
the ones we have in our packet weren't red line edited.
Yeah, but
ones.
we, in section.
They have to be red line, because it's the same packet as I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
They may not, they should have printed in red.
but we, gave that to you, to the town manager. We took that away from the select board.
Didn't we talk about August 1st or something?
Yeah, we did.
I know,
can't-
that's
So
what
how
that is.
about Albert, if you share yours with Judy afterwards, and we'll put it on for the
Well, I can
next,
try to find it.
next meeting, okay. Okay, because I don't, this isn't the latest one.
because this one's the latest one. And like I say, this one's in blue, on this page.
Right.
Town manager, and took select board out.
Yeah.
And when you look here, it just says.
Because I had noted that.
Yeah, that's another looking on.
I think we might not even be looking at the same one. Do you have you have the new one and we have the old one maybe?
Yeah, the one I have in my packet would be the one you guys have, because I make all the packets together. Let's see.
But that was one of the first things we did was take that all out.
But you're right, because this one doesn't have the blue.
There
This
may
one
have been-
does.
Yeah, there may have been,
Yeah.
some other markings I put in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, but yeah, but like that
but-
is theirs, ours, like together.
Yeah,
All right.
And
Do you
the
want me
other
to?
thing we discussed was, the date, the intent, would it be
Yeah, August
impacted
1st,
by
yeah.
when we did it? And we
Okay.
said yes. so-
All right, here, you want that back?
No, I don't need it. I mean, if you don't
Okay.
want it,
All right, do you want me to go try to pull it now, or you want me to wait?
we could just do it on the next meeting. I mean, it should be simple enough, right?
Okay.
Well, it's just
Well-
an edited version, right, of
Yeah, it was the last edited version that we
And
had.
I actually stopped making them because I figured you guys had them all the
Yeah.
time, and then I probably just pulled this one as the last one, but.
the edit.
Yeah.
What about dates and signatures on this?
Well, that's,
Yeah,
yeah, because
that's because what
that's,
we went off of the old one was
Yeah.
signed.
Yeah, that was the.
so we'd have to
Way
print
back.
out. So why don't we put it on the next meeting and we'll have a new signature page? And we can do all that.
And maybe like review it ahead of time, so when we get it, we can just say
Yeah.
any changes and get it approved
Yeah.
by then. Okay.
Was there anything else you had, Albert?
no,
Okay.
that was just,
Okay, I think we've looked at it a few times. For some reason, it did fall off the table and we didn't get it to the signature page, so. Okay, we'll just do that for the next meeting.
Okay.
All right, and then the health and safety policy, was there something?
This was put on here because I actually had a town reach out to me and ask me about our health and safety policy and how, to what degree do we enforce it?
Okay.
And then in reviewing it, I realized it hadn't been updated. It's supposed to be updated every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
obviously it hasn't, because it's 5 years now, so, so I just put it in here. It's very vague and very simple.
Template.
Yeah.
So has it been updated at VLCT at all, I wonder?
No, I doubt it. I think this is just where it stands. Albert?
No, I was just gonna say, you know, injury reporting, item 3, can we change town administrator to town manager?
Yeah, I had that
Yeah.
too. But I just wonder if, I'm sure VLCT, kind of like the VSBA, they go through and review model policies. So I didn't know if they,
Yeah, I think this was done like 5 years ago, and then it was, you know, we'll revisit it every year, and then it,
Yeah, good drop.
yeah, because it's not something I think that comes up.
is there a health and safety committee with bylaws appointed by a wellness
No,
coordinator?
if you look way back, there's a lot of committees that existed at one time that I don't know what happened to them, or if they were just like named and there was a file created, but nothing ever came of
Well,
it.
this would have been of employees though, because I
Right.
know on Fridays, they used to have meetings here or something for the wellness something, because
Oh.
Stephanie was the wellness coordinator, I think, that's why it says town administrator is my
Right.
guess. And they used to do something, like, one year they got, pedometers or something.
Oh, okay.
Because that impacted our insurance and different things like
okay.
that, if you talked about certain
Yeah.
things and all that kind of stuff, so, I don't know, maybe reach out to VLCT and see, I mean, if not, then I think we should take that out, but,
Right.
Albert?
I was gonna ask that same question, Lisa, about, you know, if the committee existed. And then the other thing is, if we do have a wellness coordinator, do we post who that wellness coordinator is in our buildings? You know, so that people
If
would know.
we had one, yeah. We don't.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I guess I would ask if we need to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look,
One at the garage and the wastewater plant. And
if you look way back, there's a lot of committees that seem like they were formed as a thought, and then never came to fruition, so, I mean, you know, there's 6 of us here employed, so it's,
Updated thing, I think that's a.
yeah, I'll just see, and I took it, the other person who called me, basically, they didn't do anything with it, and they kind of wanted to, and just were reaching out to different areas. I had one, so.
Yeah, because a lot of this revolves around having a committee, so.
Right.
If you don't have a committee, I'm not sure that you need the policy.
I'll see what history I can find on that.
Yeah, I know they used to do stuff on Friday mornings or something.
Okay.
And they would do, and I know that's why they got with Stephanie,
It
so.
might have been with the regional planning, they had they go around to different towns and they,
I think this was through VLCT. I think this was one of those initiatives that when they were doing safety and be well. and
Okay.
There was a whole poster and everything about it.
yeah.
So, all right, a motion will be in order to move into the Board of Water Commissioners at 6:29.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright, motion passes. So, Aldrich Elliott, so this is almost completed, the.
It is, they've finished the, inventory,
Okay,
yeah. And they got 88% response covered, you know, between
Yeah.
the surveys that were sent in, which was very, very minimal. So
Yeah.
basically 70% was accomplished by going door to door, so.
okay. And so then what do they do? Are you getting a copy of that, or?
Yeah, I think it's like a template, because they did it for all towns so that it's consistent with the
Sure.
same
Yeah.
information, yeah.
Okay.
And I was gonna print it out, but it was kind of massive, and the spreadsheet was like,
I mean, I don't think we need to see it, but, I mean.
I bet Albert wants to see it.
No, I don't see it. You know?
I mean, I would think they could, do it by cohorts, like you have 62% have
Oh, yeah, break it
galvanized.
down, yeah. And I could send, I mean, if anybody wants, I could send it to you as an email and you could try to open it and look at it.
No, I don't care.
Because really, that's, you know, that's the property owners.
Right, and all it does is tell
responsibility
what
and-
street, what, you
Yeah.
know, what they had, and a lot were like, you know, unknown, and if they went to a street and, like, certain people wouldn't let them in, they would assume, say they went to 8 houses on that street, and there's 10, and 8 had, copper, they would assume those other 2 had copper too.
Yeah.
So, but I'm finding now, just from air problems we've had in town, that there's a lot of galvanized pipes
Oh, I'm
going into
sure.
houses, so.
Yeah, I think probably most times, probably people fix it when your street's getting torn up and we did water projects, or if you probably had a significant problem.
Right.
So,
Yep,
because it's not an inexpensive project to do.
That's when I changed mine, is when they did Park Street.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So, and I think that's, I mean, maybe that's something else we need to be really, keen on as we're doing, if we're doing streets and things like that. About, you
Yeah.
know,
And we've talked about it, Kyle and, Rob and Nick and I, about certain streets like next year, like Newton Street being one of them.
Yeah.
That if we're digging up Newton Street, that's the time that you homeowners, if you have galvanized pipes going into your house, to maybe
Yeah.
contract with the person digging so that it's easier and it's all done at once.
Yeah.
We just had a house up here on North Street that had a leak, and they had to dig it up to find the shut off and put a shut off in, but that was galvanized going into, so thank God we didn't have to tear up the road to get to it, so.
Yeah, and I'm sure most of them are probably galvanized, so. Okay. All right, anything else in water? All right,
One thing?
Sure, yeah.
The resident that we had here for Newton Street that was having issues with their
yeah.
piping or pressure and all that, didn't they mention they had somebody coming on the,
Yeah, the 24th.
was there any,
I haven't heard anything after that.
nothing yet?
He did come here after that meeting and talk to me, and said if he got anything, a report or whatever, he would give it to me and share it with me.
I was curious if it came in yet.
Yeah, no.
All right, motion would be in order to move to the sewer commissioners at 6:32.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? All right, so, in your packet you had from Aldrich and Elliott. I kind of was hoping they were gonna put it together more like a flyer, I guess.
Well, they put the flyer together for us already that I shared with you guys early on. When they did the inventory, remember they did one for the inventory and then they also did one for the wastewater treatment plant? They did 2 little, like, 1-page documents saying this is just an explanation of this and this is an explanation of the wastewater plant. So that's what they had. I asked him to go deeper and give me more information and details as far as the wastewater treatment plant. So he sent me that. I just wanted to run it by you to see if you felt anything was missing. And then I was gonna work with them, or even myself, and create like a postcard and have them approve it as well to make sure all the information on there was accurate.
Do you have any copies of those so we can see them?
I don't in here. I thought I had printed it out for you, but they sent them out together as, when they did the inventory. Let me just see if I can pull it up. But I'm just asking you to look at the email, because that's where you put more description in there.
Yeah, I don't know, a postcard, I don't want it just to get tossed. I almost
Yes.
feel like it needs to be like,
Well, I thought it was mentioned the last meeting, the postcard.
yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking about like all these postcards we've received lately for, the elections, what do you do with them? I just throw them.
Yeah.
I think a flyer, like trifold would be better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Recycle box.
Yeah. I mean, I did like the fact, I mean, I really liked the, last paragraph where they talked about the estimation and of the project and kind of what the payback would be. I think it's good to, you know, show what those costs are, so kind of at that, so you figure what, $22 a month, so we're looking at about a $264 increase then just on the sewer side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think numbers like that are important to share so people have an idea. And the hope is that, you know, once again, that water could stay flat if you're going
I'll
to,
just run down.
okay. You know, doing that you're certainly not gonna increase water then when you set those rates, or I would hope that
I
we would
agree
be
with you, yes.
Yeah,
somehow be able to do that, but I like that paragraph. And I know there's a lot of estimation and like that in it, but that's really where we're at this point, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, we're not gonna know, I don't know whether they've really clarified the cost of
The sludge.
removing the sludge and disposing of that. I think the last time it was Canada or it was quite a ways away from
Yeah,
here.
but the gray area right now is the volume that's in the
Yeah.
lagoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think like the fold over piece would be a better
Yeah.
piece than just, I know we talked about the postcard, but
Throw a postcard.
we've got,
Even if it was like information like this and sealed and folded,
Yeah.
you know?
or even if it was just like this, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's not
get,
gonna cost much. I mean,
yeah.
it's so light.
Even if you did 2 pages, you
Yeah.
could still, I just think it gives a little bit of the history, which is good, and then I think this paragraph, while I get it, it's estimate, or, you know, this is where we're at, or, you know, but that's kind of where we're at, and at least maybe that might start some conversation
Right.
with people. And we're sharing, like, this is where we think we might be.
Right.
You know, we might be at, you know, your sewer might be increasing by $265 or $264, so that people have that. But I think this piece is good because this gives a lot of history.
Right.
And a lot of people, I don't think really even,
I
Like
think,
that too, because it defines the need.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
there's a need.
Well, I think the history is important, but I also, and then I think the cost is the other big thing.
Yeah.
So people see a dollar amount and go, okay. And make it so they look at this and go, well, you know, make the heading on it something that's gonna
yeah.
make them,
So I think you could do, I mean, I think this is good just like this, because the history is the facility
Right.
needs. And then I think you could just put anticipated, you know, project costs, or,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, you could even do it this way, put all of this down this column and on this side, the costs and stuff
Yeah.
like that, so.
I don't think there's gonna, is there
Oh,
gonna be a huge cost from doing 1 to 2 pages?
No, no.
And I'd like to see too, maybe just a short sentence about, you know, pay attention to future mailings. or,
Right, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Additional information that's gonna be
Yeah.
coming, just so you're aware
Yeah.
that there's a lot of activity that's gonna be going on, and
And maybe a heads up too, there's gonna be a vote. for-
Yeah, a bond vote, I think,
Yeah.
I think it definitely should say
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
And then, do we have any idea, like, we had talked about having them maybe pick a time and a date for a special meeting, like, and trying to schedule that? I
Right.
mean, if we had that, we could put that in here too.
Yep,
Yeah.
I can try to get, so what's the date you'd like this to go out, probably?
I think this could go out, you know, as soon as they have it ready. I don't think there's any reason to wait. I think,
Okay.
I mean,
So if-
we're in November for all intents and purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we, I know, it's just, there's a lot going on now between annual report and budgets.
Well, if you would get it, I mean,
Well, I can do it, I mean, and they don't need to do it. I
No,
just
but I'm
think-
saying, if you can get them printed out, I can come and,
Yeah,
tape them together or whatever, and we're
Yeah,
just putting
that's not a
postal.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I'm thinking, what if we got
Yeah.
them out by like December and then we had them come in January?
It'd be nice to get them out.
Yeah, well, they're probably not gonna come in December, probably, I'm guessing, with everything going on. Well, as long as we could do it, like, can we do it maybe, you think like, I
I mean, we're in November next week already,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
so,
But if they can help you just, I mean, I think this page is fine the way it is. Just set the second page and then just, if we, I mean, maybe the date isn't that important if we're gonna go out till January. We could just say, you know, watch for January special meeting or something like
For the
that.
town report? Well, no, the town report goes out after.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it wouldn't, but.
and then print it out. I can come and fold it and put it together and help you get it
right,
together.
yeah, I'm not worried about, I'm just trying to think of how.
And then maybe we could get it out before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because I think that might be, the sooner we get it out there, the sooner people see it, it might start more conversation and
Okay,
I think December might be a little late, and December's a weird month. People are busy doing all your stuff and, you know,
What would override a vote? I mean, if it goes up, we say we want to vote,
yeah. Well, we are in March,
March.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this is needed, obviously, it's 30
Well,
years.
people can vote it down.
And if they vote it down, how do you override something like that if you need it? You can't shut the sewer plant down.
Just gotta put it back out there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you?
yeah, just like a budget, you know, they don't
Yeah.
approve a budget, you keep going at them.
Oh, because you're saying that essentially it's going to get to the place where we can't operate, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
We will lose the license if we don't comply.
Right.
So the state would probably come in and say, they're just gonna do the project and you're just gonna pay.
Yeah. There's no,
I mean,
Right.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
With water.
I mean, it's
Something
kind
in-
of, not to be draconian, but that's kind of like, I think the way it would go.
Reality.
Yeah, because what are your options? You have to do it. They're the ones saying also that it needs to be done. I mean, it wasn't just like
yeah. we
somebody dreamed it up, so, and people, I mean, this has been talked about for
Yeah, it's actually long overdue, so.
10 years, I bet, at a
Oh,
minimum.
yeah. And this stuff, equipment down there has been there for 30 years.
Yeah, I understand it
Plus.
too, but I think this will help.
Yeah.
I think all this information will help.
Yeah.
Judy proposes to do it with the pricing, that way everybody can see exactly what's
Yeah.
going on.
All right, I'll reach out to them tomorrow and see how soon they could do it, and if they're basically can't jump on it, then I'll try to do it myself and then send it to them to just,
Yeah, I would just
Look at a
use
draft.
this. I think this looks fine. I mean, I think, you know,
We'll get the discussion.
it puts them on there, they're the engineer, whatever. I think that's fine. And then I just think it's more taking the information off
That he
this
provided.
email.
Yep.
And kind of formatting that and formatting it in a way, kind of like they said, you know, the takeaway for sewer customers. This is the estimate. I mean, I think that paragraph is pretty good right there.
yeah.
And then, you know, I think even the second paragraph could be reworked and isn't awful to put in there. I mean, it is what it is, you know?
All right.
Yeah, that's good. I think this is the right direction to go. Social media and all that word of mouth is,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
get
it printed
people
out. I can
talking.
come,
yeah.
I can
yeah.
sit in the afternoon and do it. It's not a big deal. What do I have going on?
You know, if we had
I can do it during one of my,
I'm an empty nester.
sometime in February or something,
Yeah, if we could get him to come, if we could get them to come, I would say like, even the second week of January, even if we did it during our meeting. I mean, I really don't think we're gonna get 80 people to come. I think we could probably hold it here, personally. I mean, but, then if there's, you know, a lot of questions, we could always do a follow-up meeting and have them maybe be just virtual or something like that to, you know, if there are questions or things that need to be answered. Or maybe even just to do it again at a February meeting, just to discuss it
right.
again, you know, because numbers might change. So,
all
Have a
right,
representative here from Aldrich and Elliott to,
well, we would at the first meeting, I think,
just to help with,
to do the presentation, I think.
oh, yeah,
yeah. okay.
Yeah, I'm sure a couple of them would probably come.
oh, yeah.
And then
Wayne
this-
will be down.
The second meeting, if we think we need to do something in February, I think we could probably do that virtual. And then, maybe even for town meeting, we might wanna have different things, I don't know. If we wanna have different things blown up, to have them kind of around the gym, like kind of to,
Project, like
Yeah.
Mr. F's and stuff.
yeah. Cause by then you're gonna have more of the cost estimate and all
Right.
that, so,
Right, the more information that's out there, the more they see, then they'll
yeah,
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 come around.
Okay.
yeah. All right, I think that's great, thank you. All right. So, out of water sewer at 6:45, and department reports, you have the sheriff's report. I did see on social media yesterday that they, stopped someone on West Street, did you see that, going 80 and a 40?
I think it's, was it in here? I
on
think,
Route 3.
Oh, there was, no, this was on West Street, or
Yeah.
West Proctor Road, it
Yes,
was
yeah.
somebody from Rutland. So,
And there
Well,
was
okay,
one
on
Route 3 for
57
$544.
yeah, oh, this wasn't in the report, this was just
Unsolicited.
Rutland, well, Rutland County Sheriff, they post their reports and stuff like that. And so I think it happened, I don't know, like the 24th or something.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking, 80 miles an hour on, like, I can't even imagine going that fast
Well,
down there.
I know.
in this report, it says, you know, the 57-350, 1700 West Street, 25 mile an hour zone.
Yeah.
Car stop, excessive speed, 78 in 40.
Yeah,
Well, this one's 86 and 50.
Yeah.
yeah.
86 coming into,
Well, I do notice they set a lot more down here in the pull-off, kind of that little fishing pull-off there.
Yeah.
They seem to be setting there a little more, so. Do we think that, cause we're almost in November, January will be here before you know it. That for Mortimer Proctor, maybe we wanna ask or find out how much one of those, signs cost that we have on South Street to put over here on East Street?
yeah, I have reached out to them and asked them that. I haven't gotten the answer back.
Okay, well, can we just look through invoices and see where we bought that one? Just
Oh, I was thinking of just getting a temporary one to see. if
Well,
there's
I
still-
think maybe just buy one to put over there. I mean, we have one here, and that seems to be, a lot of, complaints and like that, and there's a lot of truck traffic coming from that direction. That maybe we could put one over there. I mean, and then eventually maybe we could put one on West Proctor Road or something like
Right,
that,
yeah.
Yes.
Kind of start to try to get all your,
They're all the northwest, east and south.
well, I know, and I don't know how much they cost, but,
On that side, it's the Florence Road, you know, and they're slowed down a little bit.
No, I mean
coming
up North
into the-
Street from Gorham Bridge.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a cut through and they fly up that hill and down that hill.
yeah.
I always feel like now when you go over the bridge on North Street, you're like Dukes of Hazzard.
I know.
It's a
Isn't
little,
that bridge nice? Didn't they do a good
It
job
is,
with
but it's
that?
a
There's
little-
no seam coming up over that.
The only thing, when you come down from Terrace Hill, it is
Hard to
Steep.
see.
hard
yeah,
to,
yeah.
I've been up there.
But I just thought maybe if we could
Could they
find
put
the
a mirror?
invoice where we bought that one, maybe we
Road
can
mirror.
see.
Yeah, I know, I've looked at it before because I had to
It
see if
is
it held data
a hard time to
because we didn't
see.
know if it held
Oh.
data in it and it doesn't.
Okay,
When you're
So,
pulling-
all right.
you're
I want
trying
to,
pull
for
out,
some reason, I'm
you
thinking
don't have
like
much time.
2,600.
Yeah, that's not
Might be
good.
more than that.
Yeah.
So at 2,600, maybe we could see if they would buy one, if we bought one or something
Right.
like that.
Right.
You
So,
ever see them out there with, they got the lights on them? If you're,
Yes. And
they
it-
have all kinds of new
I like
ones
those,
now.
they get your attention to,
Yeah,
instead of just a number, and then you think, I think I can beat that number.
but are people in a neighborhood gonna like those though?
I went through there the other day going to.
Like if it's next to somebody's house and it's doing that all the time.
Flashing red and blue
I mean-
lights
Well,
on
they
it.
might appreciate it,
Well, maybe, I don't know, I just, you
because I think it
know.
only stays lit long enough until they drop their speed, so it's
Oh, okay.
only like
Okay.
seconds,
Yeah.
until they go, and then it goes off. So it's not like lit all the time, but it gets your attention quick.
This one does
Yeah.
out here, lights up till you
No,
drop
but
your
this-
speed.
This has.
Oh, but this has lights on,
and
like
that's
on the
Bridgewater.
outside of the sign.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
not just the actual, Where was that?
speed.
There's something.
Woodstock's got the ones with the blinking lights,
Yeah.
they're blue if you're speeding.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I think Manchester's has one that says slow down, like if you're
Yeah.
going over the speed limit, it lights up,
But
says
there's
slow
different
down.
ones now in Rutland in different neighborhoods too. I don't know if they've gotten those because of kids in the
Right.
neighbor, but they have those, they look like they're, I don't know, it's kind of like they're a glit stop around
Yeah.
that of them, so.
I mean, I think it slows traffic down during the day. At night, it doesn't. They don't care.
Yeah, well, there's not as many people out at night, so.
Right. But I mean, that's when they come flying through doing
Yeah.
75
Yeah.
miles an hour. 'Cause
Yeah,
they go,
well-
oh, there's no cops out. It's, you know.
Well, I mean, we can only do so much, but I do think that if we could, at least get one more, and maybe if we buy one, we could ask for them to buy one. At least we're trying to,
Right.
to
Yeah.
kind of cover all the entrances.
Yeah, it seems hard to get that one from the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But that one from the sheriff's department's nice, because it collects data, right?
Yeah.
Then they can look at it and say, well, we should,
set here.
set here during this time frame.
Right.
But I don't think
No,
this
we're-
one we get any data.
This one doesn't now on South Street.
But maybe we could see if they have them like that, because you should be able just to download it to the
Right.
cloud
Right.
or to your phone.
Right.
So, all right, so maybe we'll work on that for MRP. I think that would be viable. All right, town managers report.
Okay. Let's see, so I updated my report up just a little from things. So I don't know if you noticed, the striping was done on the new paved roads.
Yep.
It's like they snuck in here during the wee hours of the morning, because all of a sudden everybody's like, the striping's up, when did they do that? So, looks nice. The Tri-Town Path Team alternative meeting was held on the 23rd. There were some additional options and areas that were discussed, so they're compiling all that information, and then, Rutland Regional Planning is gonna reach out to the town manager team and kind of go over those alternatives with them and update them, so.
Sure.
But it's a good meeting. Stantec's really good, the engineering firm, so. Beaver Pond Committee request, I sent that email, I think I attached it to your packet, just so
Yep.
that you
Yeah.
could see some of the things that they mentioned. I do know that, we are storing the, grills in the garage for the winter. The tables will stay there. They talked about stone stairs at the Gorham Bridge, putting them up on the trail. So I haven't really had that further discussion with him on that. I don't know, I've had a lot of thoughts that it's kind of a natural path just through the woods, and that's the way it should stay, and not be building stairs up in there.
Where is he talking about again, Judy?
Above the pond,
Yeah,
there's the trail that loops
Those
around.
ones down by Gorham Bridge Road, if you go
Yeah, I
through, you
know.
see them coming.
Oh, you're
coming.
looking, that's where the steps are. He wants to put them up at the pond. Steps like that by Gorham Bridge that go
Right.
down to the fishing area.
and let's put him at the pond.
Something similar to that.
Where would, there's really no need to put me by Beaver Pond, is there?
Up on the trail they want to put.
Yeah, you want them at the trail, the high end of the trail, where it's steep.
You can use logs.
Yes.
Like the Indians, you cut it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of was swaying against it, just thinking I feel like sometimes the more you put in, the more you cut out, just
Upkeep.
kind of trimming the trail, leaving it a natural trail. I just, plus I don't know if steps would be more dangerous than just walking on a
Yeah.
trail.
Yeah, well, I'd say you have till spring to
Right.
kind of bat that around, it seems like.
And you could reach out to the Rotary to help. They did once before when they were trimming all the trees around there, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine with
Yeah,
that.
that seems like a great
In
idea.
fact, next year, I think staining the picnic tables might be a good, one of those good projects. He did send a follow-up email to the committee after that and kind of gave some details, so.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be like one of the good things too. One of the other things was closing the gate at November 1st, and I don't know if I want to do that. The weather's been so beautiful still that I don't know why it would hurt having people go down there still.
Yeah. And we left that, decision to you and Public Works, so,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we don't plow it. right?
no.
No.
So in closing it, I guess we had this discussion before as to why we were doing this.
Right. I don't know, because like, if people wanna go down there, you could still go down there. I mean, as many people ride their four-wheelers around over there.
Yeah, it could
I
be-
think you're just kind of maybe encouraging people to bad behavior almost, right? You know?
If they wanted to go, I don't know what they'd be doing, and it's not, to go down there to ice fish, I guess.
Right.
That-
Well, I mean, you could still go down there, the picnic tables are still there, so,
They were concerned with the grills gone, people might start fires without the grills. If it was icy, people might drive down there but I've never seen anybody go down there to ice fish. They go off the other sides mostly.
yeah.
And I just think, I mean, with this weather right now, it'd be terrible to not let people just go sit down there or fish off that end when it's beautiful out. I mean, I think once the snow comes and if there's, heavy snowfall, you don't want people driving and getting stuck. That was their biggest concern. So
Yeah,
then
we don't want
It was
that.
talked that in maybe the end of February, shut the gate until things
Yeah.
dry up a little bit, until maybe the 1st of May or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ordinance says you can November 1st, but at the discrepancy,
Discretion, yeah,
discretion of the weather and stuff, so.
yeah.
Well, that just gives it that springtime to let it go and dry up and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
before everybody gets down there. with
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, I mean, as the ordinance says, it's at the discretion of the town manager and the public works, that is the direction we should go. And with weather like this, I mean, I don't know that, honestly, if someone wanted to go down there and start a fire, I mean, not that I'm encouraging that.
Right,
Being
yeah,
able
there's
to
a lot.
drive down there, I don't think is the,
And the sheriffs even said that. They said a gate is not gonna inhibit people from,
Yeah.
people who wanna go down there, it's not
Because you
gonna,
can park at the gate if it were closed and still
Yeah.
walk down there and have
Right.
access to it.
yeah.
right.
I would say just again, use the gate for just springtime for.
Yeah, when that's really bad, yeah, just so, to deter people from even going down and running it up or something,
Right,
if
right.
it's, yeah.
And I think that the problem they had with people with fires was on the trail, not down there.
Right, right.
So, I mean, and we're not shutting the trails off, so,
Yeah.
yeah, so. I think we're good. The ordinance was rewritten and it's the direction we should go.
Okay, they did put in some gravel where they paved it, because it was quite a drop off going into the pond, and I think they were gonna go back and put some more in, just once it kinda got worn down to kind of fill it so it's more flush.
Yep,
Public Works assisted pipe replacement off of North Street, that's the one I mentioned to you guys up here. They dug up there, Tommy Grace dug that and took care of that project, but they wanted to make sure they helped them find shut-offs, because there was no curb stop, so they had to shut off 2 shut-offs. There was like 5 houses, I think, without water for just a couple hours, so. Continuing to work on the budget, we'll have those first departments that we mentioned for the first November meeting. Cedar would like to be at the November 12th meeting for their request to support their efforts in their marketing and other project initiatives.
Is
Getting,
it Celia?
Cedar.
yeah.
Oh, Cedar.
yeah. Getting quotes for tree removals in town. We haven't really found a lot of trees that are major, like before we had some concerns with certain ones. We've had a couple people call about limbs that were hanging over, but I sent one of the guys up and he looked at it. He didn't get back to me yet, but I went by there and looked and it was hanging over. It's definitely on their property and hanging on their property, so it's not any, we did take one down on Gorham Bridge that was dangling over the road there for the longest time.
Yeah.
I was like, and there is one down there I know that's really dead that needs to come down, so.
And then what about, at the rink, they had talked about, there's some dead.
Yeah,
ones
there's some
there.
dead limbs that are dangerous, I
Yeah.
think. Just like, not trees so much, but just the big limbs, they dry all up and they just kind of dangle there.
Yeah.
So if we hired somebody and there's still money, just to get them before, like when the season's over and before winter
Yeah.
starts, because that way if they damage anything on the concrete and stuff, we don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it. So we'll see. I know last time we didn't even get many bids. I think nobody's bidding on tree removal, or it's costly, but I think we put more in the budget this year than we had last year.
Okay.
All right, let's see. notified the league about fire truck locations for insurance purposes. So I contacted them to let them know, one of our engine one is in Rutland City at their fire department right now, and they're keeping it for us there, because their truck is out, so they're storing it. And then the other ones, that kind of opens up the garage a little.
Yep.
And then I let them know the other ones are still at our garage, just for insurance purposes, so they have the location of them, so.
Yep.
Let's see. Told you about the bid amounts. Public Works, we're gonna prepare like a project schedule for, like the winter and next year, because we're looking at a lot. We know we've got to do paving, but we've also realized that the infrastructure with the water lines and sewer and stuff are pretty rough shape, and we got to figure out how to get to some of those and tackle those, so.
So, yeah, so the, money from this timber harvest just goes into the general, right?
Yes,
So that money is something like, let's say, we'll just say Newton Street, because that's the one that we've talked
Yeah.
about. That's money that could be allocated like towards that project or something, okay?
yeah. And we
Right.
talked about actually the need from like where you go to the dump all the way down to Field Street, that main being done over too. But we figured we could start like with Newton Street, do that street.
What do you
and
mean
then-
from the dump? Why would we have a
Because our water main goes out there, out towards the farm, to the
Yeah.
farm.
Goes back under Route 3,
Yeah,
up by the old Turnovich farm, the big
Yeah.
farmhouse.
You just
And
consider
that
Proctor,
hydrant, it
Proctor
would still
side.
feed that hydrant, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Why is that?
It's always been town water for there, down there.
Yeah, but we don't have any outer district customers. We're not allowed to have any outer district customers.
Yeah, they, the house down at the,
Yeah, at the
behind Proctor and
farmers.
Costin,
Is we cut it across the
they were on
road
town water.
and cut the line.
So
from
that
Chittenden.
house is receiving a bill?
No, not any longer. We shut it off. They wanted it shut off.
Right.
So we disconnected it, because there was a well behind there.
So why are we still running that? Why wouldn't we disconnect
Well,
that?
it is disconnected.
No,
the-
but why would we run the main still up like
I
that?
don't know if it goes as far as the farmhouse too. I think it did.
Yeah, why would we go beyond?
I mean,
Well, it depends on where the water comes and goes. I mean, it's like you can't just all of a
I'm not
sudden
sure.
seal it up.
well,
you're
but
right.
that was the whole point of the project. That was the whole point where we went to court about having no outer district customers. That's why we fought. That's why we paid people money, because, so they could help dig. So why would we be maintaining infrastructure that,
I mean, that just happened, what, 5 years ago, maybe? 4 years ago?
But I don't think we would, anything past that point. Right?
yeah, I'd be
Right,
interested.
but I'm saying we were servicing up until 4 years, probably 4 years ago, maybe.
Unless the main's gotta be rerouted or something that we need.
Well, it's been longer than that,
Yeah.
because it was
Forgot
when
when we cut that.
Stan was here the first time.
And I was on the board though, so.
But I know we cut it on the other side where, well, it used to be Sig Ron's
Yeah, but
house.
the water's, why would we have water cycle from down there?
Because I think when it
Back.
came up, like when we were getting water from Chittenden.
Chittenden.
and it's
Yeah, but we don't
down
get
through.
water from Chittenden.
Right, I know, but I don't think anything was done about it.
Well, I think that's something we need to talk about. I mean, why would we be maintaining infrastructure that is not,
Well, we wouldn't have to, but I mean, if you're doing the main from Newton, then somehow we figure out, we just stop it from there then.
yeah.
But I think there's water in that line. But I could be
That's what I'm
wrong.
wondering, I don't know if it kind of loops somehow, or.
Well, that would be a good question when we look at Newton.
Yeah,
You're right, you'd have to look at the engineering of it. If it comes out and comes, you know,
Right,
you could maintain 20 feet of it, might be a little less expensive than
yeah.
redoing all the piping.
Yeah, but we're only feeding the town, so even if it's
Yeah.
looping, it shouldn't be,
Well, not if it's way out, you know, way down, if it's
Yeah.
down, some of the dump site, then that's different. That's-
Yeah, I think you know where Terranovic's big house there, it used to be the Terranovich. The next place, you go about 100 or so feet north of that, house that they redone and put the big.
Yeah, that's where it
garage
used to come down from.
Yeah. And that's where we had installed a cutoff and shut off right there from the water from sitting there.
That's true. You had to put a vault, like, in there to,
No, they did it with water pressure in there. Is had a special company come up from Massachusetts.
because it went under the road there.
Yeah, and it was cut off on the east side of the road
Yeah.
in that.
Well, I don't know. That would be interesting to know from the engineer.
I'll touch
Yeah.
base with Rob too.
Yeah,
We've got enough issues without maintaining infrastructure we don't need,
yeah.
so.
I don't think it's cut anywhere else.
Okay, anything else, old or new business, or did you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Anything else, old or new business? All right, hearing none, a motion will be in order to adjourn at 7:06.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned, thank you.